Right fresh off the press, we have the brand spanking new chapter 282. And, well, if you've seen the spoiler video that I made, this chapter is going to be it's going to be heavily filled with just a bunch of content, your typical anime content. So let's go ahead and I've already read the chapter, I kind of want to talk about it a bit, and once again, I do apologize for background noise if you hear it, but if you don't, then you didn't hear this from me. But anyway, let's hop into the discussion and the review of My Hero Academia chapter 282. Alright, so before I start off, I'm going to kick it off with just a few things I want to say here. First off, this chapter doesn't have a lot of information that wasn't revealed from the spoilers, but there are a few things that were explained in a bit more clarity. So this chapter review may not be as long as 17 minutes, or may not be as long as the other one, but it's still gonna have some information. So first off, we start with probably a good chunk of information from Ryuko, and she says, if we can go tend to Gran Torino's injury as soon as possible, and then right? So this pretty much tells me that Gran Torino is alive, at least. He has wounds, he's not dead yet, so that's always a plus. Ryuko picks him up, I believe, in this next panel, so Gran Torino is probably being whisked away to a medic or something, and that's now Ryuko, who is off the battlefield. Gran Torino is also now off the battlefield, so left on the battlefield is Bakugo and Deku, of course, Rocklock, Aizawa, and the random water dude, and of course Endeavor and Shiggy. We get back to Deku holding Shiggy with the black whip, of course, but we do notice that Shigaraki throws the quirk-killing bullet. And, all I'm saying is we get that panel, the 100% Wyoming smash. All I'm saying is Shiggy don't have his regeneration quirk on right now. This should have definitely just murdered his brain. I feel like if 100% Wyoming smash, bruh, I feel like your head would be blood paste, bro. This dude got fucking clocked, dude. Deku just gives him a fucking, two hands over the back of the head. That's a killing blow, my man. It even shows there's a shockwave. There's a fucking shockwave that blows up that stops it stops Endeavor from doing his ultra charging attack. And then we pan over to Deku, who, he did clock Shiggy, but we then see that Shigaraki bit his arm. So if we're taking a look here, the panel that is just drawn so beautifully well, where I said in the spoiler video that Deku punched the teeth out of Shiggy. Technically he did, but it's meant to emphasize more that Shigaraki bit Deku's arm. However, it doesn't really matter a lot, because the entire bottom half of Shigaraki's jaw is just gone. It's not literally gone, but you know what I mean, right? It's been absolutely obliterated. It's just been fucking murdered. And the cool thing is as we see Shiggy flick the bullet and it goes into the air, we once again get a really good speech by Deku, right? Where he's punching and he's talking to himself like he always does, because he's weird like that. But Deku ends up saying, I feel like I'm unstoppable as it stands. These passions, dreams, and convictions of mine are keeping me going. Now, I believe this is Deku saying this, because I don't think Shigaraki would say this, because I don't know, it doesn't seem villain-like to me, you know what I mean? Maybe this is Shiggy, and if it is, then feel free to correct me, because Lord knows I'm not right all the time. But we then get, of course, the scene where the bullet hits Eraserhead directly in the leg. We then get a panel of Shigaraki looking at it, I guess with his eyes. And then we get a panel of Aizawa, noticing. He ends up saying, thanks, Ryuko. As we then get a very emotional, tensing scene not I guess scene, because we end up, Eraserhead grabs a knife. He grabs a very big machete-looking thing, and every time we, like every panel, we switch from the battlefield to Eri playing with her new UA family. She's smiling, right? So we see her getting something in her hands, and then we pan back over to Aizawa, who says, "That's all I can deal with this." Oh no, he says that I can deal with swiftly and rationally. And then we pan back to Ori, fucking Ori, dude. I'm playing. Ugh, Eri. Sorry, Eri. We then pan over to her, who is playing with some string or something. I don't know. Whatever kids do nowadays, man. Right? She's playing with string. I would bet my life savings if you can get me a video of a kid playing with string in 2020, bro. Okay, it's not happening. All right, this kid's either playing Subway Surfers on his phone or he's playing Fortnite. Like, that's what kids do nowadays, bro. They don't play with no fucking string. That doesn't mean anything really, because this is a fictional universe, but joke was made either way. And then Aizawa ends up cutting off his leg, and this is where we get a definite speech from Shigaraki, and it's pretty damn chilling almost to a point, because it says, "I'll say it again, you're pretty cool, Eraser," because of course Eraserhead's quick thinking managed to prevent him from losing his quirk, because it couldn't spread in his body after they cut off his leg. So he says, "I'll say it again, you're pretty cool, Eraser. However, my admiration doesn't trump your impending fate." And I have to put this panel on screen. Either that or be in the thumbnail, because look at this panel that is being drawn, bro. This art is insane, bro. The amount, like, look at this. It's just scars on Shiggy's face. You see his nose, you see his eyes. But look at this. You see his teeth, but then look at the jaw. Look at the skin on his jaw, bro. Deku straight up punched his jaw so far down, it looks like his jaw is borderline about to fall off from the skin, dude. This is gnarly. This shit is fucking gnarly, dude. Like, am I watching My Hero Academia or fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, bro? Like, the amount of, like, is this gonna be, when this is animated, is it gonna be just bloody as all hell? Like, what is this gonna look like? I mean, either way, every episode of this arc is going to be fucking fantabulous, and it's going to be full of testosterone. And, hey, I am not complaining about that. But, anyway, as we go on, Shigaraki does some sort of shockwave. I don't know how he did this. I don't know, exactly how, but he ends up knocking everybody back, like full-on Dragon Ball style. And then Deku gets knocked back. He tries to latch back on to Shiggy using Black Whip. Endeavor gets hit with a shockwave. Ryukyu gets hit with a shockwave. And Deku and Eraserhead just blown back. Now this is when we get to a bit of a misinformation that I put in this last spoiler video. So in the description of the video, I said that there were panels that came out that said Todoroki was fighting Makia. That is not true. Todoroki is not actually fighting Gigantomachia, and you'll see what happens here in a second. So we end up getting that beautiful pic of Shiggy, who says, "Finally, this losing game is over," and he just latches his fingers onto Eraserhead's face. And this is Eraserhead we're talking about. So luckily, he doesn't just instinctually close his eyes; he keeps them open. And right before I guess Shiggy can do anything, he's hit with something. He's hit with a big wave of what looks like either ice or fire. Judging by how it looks, I would assume it is ice. It's ice. Yes, it is. It is indeed ice. And you know what that means, right? And that's right. There it is. Todoroki yells "Sensei" as he comes in on the fight. Shigaraki recognizes, he says "him." And then Deku, with Black Whip, latches onto Shiggy and gives him a straight fucking manimal punch. There's so many things to just talk about. One, I guess, Todoroki was following Shiggy the entire time. He's here, just literally, how convenient for Todoroki to get here, alright? If he had got here like a frame, a panel later, Shiggy might have, ripped Eraserhead's fucking face off. If, and he couldn't arrive earlier because he knew there was going to be some dramatic tension that needed to be drawn out in this chapter. So luckily Todoroki has a great sense of timing, and he managed to show up at the exact time he needed to. Then of course Shigaraki recognizes that Todoroki is following him, and then of course Deku gives him the 1-2 Rocky punch. So that's pretty much what that happens. Todoroki is now on the battlefield, which means the big three of UA is on the battlefield along with Endeavor and Eraserhead. So pretty much every major character except for Hawks is on the battlefield. Heroes wise, villains they just have Shiggy, but that's really all we need. And this is going to be a good battle moving forward. So we still see the aftermath of Deku's smash. It blows up the ice around everybody. Eraserhead's knocked back. Deku catches all three of them. And then Deku looks down and he says, "Eraserhead Sensei," and I believe Eraserhead has passed out. Either he's passed out or he has closed his eyes, because it doesn't look like his eyes are open on this panel. I can show it to you on screen. If you don't believe me, you can make your own judgments. And this is where we get the end of the Shigaraki battle for this chapter, with once again the most alpha Chad quote he could possibly give, because obviously as his quirks are now not being erased, Shigaraki is now rapidly regenerating. His jaw, his liver, his pride, his self-esteem are just all slowly coming back after that fucking ass beating he got a moment earlier. And I'm going to read this to you word for word because it is so damn good. So Shiggy walks out of the smoke, or walks out of the shockwave smoke, and he says, "After you protect him, then what? Even if you so desperately try to delay it." And then we pan to just a beastly looking Shigaraki who's very rapidly regenerating. Full body. He then says, "The only thing that awaits you is destruction." Bruh. Bruh. Is there anything more I can say? He's actually an alpha Chad. Right? This has to be the most badass shit I've read in a My Hero chapter in a long fucking time. Can you imagine that quote? Even after you protect him, even after you desperately try to delay, the only thing that awaits you is destruction. Do you know what that reminds me of? That's like some Lord Beerus shit right there, bro. This dude is literally the angel of death, the god of destruction, bro. Oh my god, dude. I know this is a terrible way to explain it, but it gets me so wet, dude. All right, I'm simping so fucking hard at this point. You don't understand how boss this quote is. That's the end of the Shiggy battle. And the end of the chapter is pretty basic. I'll go ahead and give it to you real quick here. The rest of the students, we have the frog chick, I don't remember her name, Ochako and Ida are talking back at the mansion. They realize that they can't get in touch with Todoroki. And then what happens is probably the most chilling, not chilling, but you start to realize the stakes that are here, because apparently, according to Ochako, Mount Lady has officially gone off. She I don't know how to say it. She fell off with Gigantomachia. And Machia doesn't look like he is anywhere close to falling asleep yet. And they mention this. These are the following cities Gigantomachia is expected to pass through on his way to Shiggy: Mino City, Carcoon City, Navarro City, Hondo City, Most City, Horror City, Cloud City. Funny, Cloud City. I see what you did there. Funny joke there, buddy. I see. I'm woke to your shit, Horikoshi. Kurita City, Calamari City, blah 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 blah. Like 20 plus cities. You start to see what's happening here, and then if you don't have any brain cells, Ochako then spells it out for you. He says, "Weren't nearly all the heroes assigned to this mission?" And then we get a big panel, no words, of just Gigantomachia running through a public city. So what this means is that Machia is going to pass through 20 plus cities that probably have reasonably high populations, and the heroes basically took so much of an offensive that there's no heroes left to defend the public, as a massive fucking beast runs through. He doesn't even have his eyes exposed, and who knows how many people he's gonna kill just on his way to Shigaraki, bro. You can tell the stakes are getting bad here, because that's the end of the chapter. That's the entire chapter. The stakes are as big and as bad as ever. Eraserhead has passed out. He doesn't have a leg now. We'll see. There was only one bullet, I believe, Shigaraki had, so no one else went quirkless. I thought someone was going to go quirkless in this. We'll see if he has another bullet or not. I don't know. But Maki is probably going to commit mass genocide, unwillingly. And all I can say is, man, is next chapter, we better see Bakugo, because Todoroki has just arrived on the battlefield, and he's already done more than Bakugo has, and Bakugo's been there for 3 chapters. All right, so whatever Bakugo's doing, I hope he's having fun, because he's literally a sandbag right now. He's just a fucking sandbag.